Hey everybody, this is David with American Metal Magazine, and I've got a guy here. He's a DJ. His name is Doc. Doc Metal, I think, is what he goes. Is that right, Doc?
No, Doc Rock, Metal Shop
Oh,
101.
Doc Rock. Oh, got that wrong, man. I'm sorry. I don't know how I got that wrong, man. Well, okay, Doc Rock. Well, he has a show, Metal Shop 101. Tell me a little bit about it, Doc. What is this show, and how does it reach fans?
Metal Shop 101 is a show that showcases the underground bands worldwide.
Gotcha.
And we go out to like 50 stations around the world. And it's just to showcase the underground bands that never get heard.
Man, that is a valiant effort, there's very few people that do this. How did you get into doing this to begin with? Where did you start at, Doc?
Well, no. It started back in the 90s in a small bar here in the South Hills of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, called the Rockabye Cafe. And what had happened was I used to DJ there. I paid my dues doing clubs, bars, all that stuff over the years. And local bands started bringing me their CDs in. And so we started playing them. And it just kind of grew and grew. Every week we'd have more bands bringing stuff in and this and that. And I had said over the microphone one night, I says, we need to call this something. What do we call it? And they said Metal Shop 101 because it was like going to class. Everybody got
Right.
to everybody got to hear what everybody else was doing, and it gave a good way, to interact with each other.
Yeah, and community's a big part of this, man. And if you're out in the scene like we are, you really get to realize that it's really not. There's just a few bands out there, and you get to know them in the community, and you try to support them and help them and get them where they're trying to go. And that's just what how these things kind of start, just like you're describing.
Right,
Some small beginning, then it gets bigger and bigger. So tell me
right.
about what's going on now, man. I mean, you said you're reaching out to stations all over the world, man. That's fantastic. Is it just a 24-hour a day thing, or do you have a time
I
frame?
have I I run from Monday through Friday. There's a few shows on Sundays, and I after the bar scene. I took some time off and on over the years, and then we came back this past year. We came back with on two stations, music from the 412.com, and also castleblackradio.com. And
Yes.
I figured, all right, I'll just ease into it. And then all of a sudden it exploded.
Well,
And,
that's
you know,
great.
next thing I know, I got stations reaching out, because, I mean, I'm not the best in the world. There's other DJs out there better than me, but I just do what I do because I love the underground music.
What do
You
you
know,
what do you think are those? And I think this gets down to choices, right, Doc? Am I right about this? Who you play and whether you like them, and I think that's one of the big questions that I know a lot of the bands have is what are you looking for? Why would somebody get played on your show? What makes them worthy to be on the show?
wow, that's a tough question. Well,
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
thing if you send me a professional recording along with a bio, we'll check you out. Don't send me a recording that's done in mom's basement. you
Right
know,
on.
on
Yeah.
that Commodore 64. So, but we just look for a professional sound, a professional recording. You know,
Right.
that that's pretty much it.
Does sending anything else along with it, like you mentioned, the bio links? I mean, if you're sending somebody something to a DJ and you want to present yourself in the best light, what are some
Right.
of those things that you can do as an artist?
The best thing you can do as an artist is send us, obviously your tracks, a bio, that's got the information like who's in the band, where you're from, stuff like that. EPKs always help. Um, That's pretty much it. I mean, just in Facebook links.
Yeah, that's right. I guess getting to know the band a little bit. Where are they as a band?
Right.
Are they just starting off? Those I guess are important things certainly.
Because just because when I do the show, I'm not saying, oh, hey, we have this band, but you know what? I have no idea where they're from. And usually, a lot of times, we don't have time to go searching
Yes.
for us DJs. We don't have time to go searching for you guys. So it makes it easier for us to get your music heard if you send us all the information in one shot.
Now on that, what is the best way to reach out to you? I know we're going to post links to you on our website, how to contact you. Do you have a website or something like that that is the best way to approach you?
Yeah, you can. My website is metalshop101.com, and all the links on there, for song submissions and everything is on the website.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm going to tell all my friends about that, so watch out. That inbox is going to get a little hot, maybe. But what we try to do as a magazine is try to identify some of the better DJs, some of the better stations, and certainly some of the better artists. And we're just trying to interconnect everything because we see a big disconnect and a place to fulfill that. And not to mention that it's just really interesting behind the scenes as well with what we're finding out.
Yeah, a lot of bands, in my opinion, they don't realize what goes on behind the scenes with us DJs. They just think it's some guy sitting behind a laptop playing music all day. Nah, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, you got the best job in the world, right? That's what they say. You got the best job in the world.
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
Well, talking about that, one of the things I wanted to ask you, what are some of the struggles as a DJ? I mean, you're pretty established, but even other aspiring DJs out there, what are some of the hardest things that you have to go through in order to do this business?
You have to stay committed.
Right.
You have to self promote. They're not going to come to you. You got to go to them. Um, it's just you got to stay on your game. You got to keep. I try to keep my show as professional as I can, you know, because you never know who's listening. It could be, that major record label listening to you, or it could be, you know, some mom and her kid listening to you in the kitchen. So you never know who's listening.
Right.
And I've heard a lot of DJs, they kind of go crazy on the air, with language and stuff like that. But the way I was trained and the way I was brought up, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Just because you never know who's listening.
That's true, and especially nowadays, you're reaching into all kinds of places you never would have thought of.
Absolutely.
And we do have to keep the professionalism up. Certainly,
Right.
I mean we're in a metal genre, but we got to keep it clean. Certainly, um,
Right.
that's really fantastic. And all the time that you've been doing this, I'm gonna put you on the spot really bad right here and ask you: is there a band that stands out to you in your mind, and that you've worked with, or maybe a few bands that you've worked with that you just felt really were exciting and dynamic?
Wow. Oh, man.
That's a bomber. I know. I'm sorry, man. I gotta
Well,
ask those really tough questions.
that would have to be what I call my alumni crew here at Metal Shop 101. There's quite a few bands that have been around since beginning days of this, and they are still out there playing. And I call them my alumni crew.
Well, give me a couple of names, just a couple of
That would
names.
be Order of Nine.
Yes,
That would be the band Dofka.
yes,
Uh, Iron Flame.
nice.
Um, who else? There's so many.
Yeah,
Sacred Dominion would be one, but I
awesome.
think they've disbunked. But
And that's and thank you for some of those names. We're actually gonna look at some of those bands and try to cross reference them on the magazine. And
yeah,
and I've heard so many of those names before, listened to them, and they're amazing bands. And I think that's what's really happening is people are really getting tuned in and turned on to what's happening in the scene. I don't know. It just seems like it's more vibrant than it ever has been to me.
Yeah, I notice metal is on the rise again, but it's a whole nother generation now.
Yeah.
Because like my alumni crew, it was back before all this, and they worked their tails off. Nowadays, you have all the computer stuff to do everything. You know what I mean? To produce, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of solo artists out there that are awesome solo artists. And they're doing all the production themselves.
Yeah, and you have AI too, and I'd wondered about that. Does anybody ever try to slip past you a little AI, this and that? Are you getting that now? Because I've
I've
heard a
had
lot
a
of people.
couple, but in my opinion, with I think it's going to end up eventually destroying the music scene,
Yeah,
because when a guy can be sitting in mom's basement and write a song that sounds like Alice Cooper or something, just for example, all he has to do is type into AI, hey, I want this song to sound like Alice Cooper.
yeah,
And it produces it in 30 seconds. Next thing you know, the guy's got an album out. Okay, great. Okay, it shoots up the charts. Yeah, okay. Now what are you going to do? Because you can't perform that live.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I really think AI eventually is just going to destroy the music scene. In
Yeah,
my opinion.
I see that too. I think it's got already a negative impact, even for guys like you. You don't know sometimes what you're getting. You got to look
Right.
deeper into it. It's a
Right.
mess, you know. I think what we're trying to do is really look at these bands and make sure that they're legitimate. When you register a band that on our website, you know, we look into you and make sure that you actually are a band and that you got real music before we pass them on to guys like you know. And I think that that's
Right.
something that's needed to happen with the AI thing. It's just going crazy. Is it?
Yeah. I mean, like with Kiss doing their farewell tour again for the 10th time. Um,
Yeah,
they say it's the end of the road, and now they're doing all this AI stuff for the next tour or whatever. You will not catch me paying $200 a ticket to go see a Kiss movie.
oh man, what about
You
some
know what I mean?
animatronics or something? We could go that down there and do that, you know,
I
kind of
just,
like Chuck E. Cheese and Kiss together, you know.
yeah, right, exactly. But it's like, you know, if it's the end of the road, it's the end of the road. That's it. Why
Yeah,
carry it on through AI and all that? And I mean, they've already, don't get me wrong, they've already, you know, cemented their legacy.
yeah.
But why carry it on? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's the merchandising. That's what we're in it for. I know that. So, you know, and that's you know a big part of it. The way that we see it too is we have a merchandise site. That's what we do. American merch as a part of the ability for the magazine to make money. We put band logos and things like that on shirts and sell it on a shop online, and hopefully that will produce some sort of income because it's really hard to make money on album sales and things like that. What
Oh yeah.
what's been your experience? Has anybody come up with a really, in your mind, a good solution to the whole problem of monetization of these bands? Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
Not yet.
yeah, no, man. Well, I tell you what,
But
if you,
I think like I think Spotify is terrible for the bands
yeah,
because it just, you know, I think they're ripping the bands off because the bands are out spending their money,
yeah,
working their tails off, and what do you got to get 1,000 streams to make 2 cents or something?
yeah. You know,
Whatever it is, I think it's terrible.
it is terrible. I had like 78 cents in my Reverb Nation account, and I had to try to figure out the taxes on that. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. You know, to break it down. You know,
Woohoo! I
yeah, I
made it.
know,
I got
right?
78 cents.
Yeah, I think it put me into another tax bracket actually, so I was concerned about that. Well, let me ask you then. Last question: what is the thing that you enjoy the most about this business? The thing that you just the number one thing that gets you up in the morning?
Well, the number one thing is the amount of bands that are out there around the world that you know, people here in the U.S. never hear, and people over there that never hear what's here in the U.S. So I try to crossbreed it or cross mix it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But you know, I don't get into the subgenres of metal. It's metal.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's
Right.
the universal language of love, like I say every day on the show.
Yeah, man.
But you got to open your mind. You got to explore. You got to, you know, and there is some incredible bands out there. I mean, I get bands from South Africa, New Zealand, everywhere that send me stuff in, and it's absolutely phenomenal. In fact, a lot of the people that listen to the Metal Shop 101 on a regular basis, they go out and they hit these pages up on Facebook or whatever, you know, for these
Great.
other bands, and they're starting to see it. And I'm starting to see, like on the Metal Shop page, I'm starting to see bands interacting with each other, which is a good thing. And
Yeah.
that's what Metal Shop's always been about.
That's exactly right. You know, we figured out that it's about cross connecting fan bases that could be a real advantage when you're a bunch of smaller bands band together.
Right,
Basically.
exactly. If everybody, you know, and I tell this to DJs, I mean, there's DJs out there that are after one thing, and that's themselves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're all in the same boat together. If we all work together to promote these bands and get these bands heard, it'd be a better place.
Absolutely, man, because this music is amazing. It's the
Oh,
live performances just keep better and better every time I go out. We saw Live in Stone and New Dilemma at the House of Blues. Those interviews are on our website. But just thrilling, man. There was a huge crowd. Everybody was turned on, and it was beautiful, man. It was really beautiful.
yeah, and I tell everybody go out and see the live shows
Yeah,
because you know, and what gets me is a lot of people watch the show through their phone anymore.
yeah, yeah. You just can't
You
get
know,
it, man.
they're live streaming it on Facebook. Don't do that. You know,
Exactly.
because then you got Joe Schmo that can sit at home and watch it for free. You know, you
Yeah,
got to get out there and support. You have to support these bands because without these bands, you know, without these local bands, there is no national acts.
yeah.
It's
That's
that
right,
simple.
man. You got to start somewhere. So that's the
Right.
whole thing, man. Well, hey, listen, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you having you on the magazine, Doc. We're going to put a big article about you, and we're going to put this on our YouTube channel. We're going to hopefully hook up and continue with this. I just had a really great time talking to you this morning.
All right. American Metal Magazine, thank you for having me. And spread the metal love, man.
We will, brother. We will all over the world, man.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye bye.